G'day, I'm Robert and I'm the one who does the teaching in the course. By now you would have seen a heap of videos on YouTube talking about techniques. The word techniques is used sometimes in videos with 5 million views. But here's the thing. How many techniques are there in oil painting? There are 12. Now, each one of those videos all have 3 techniques if you're lucky. Now, this is not to criticize those videos or those people making them. It's to clarify why you're here and why this course is different. If you have only 3 techniques, you don't have the toolkit, you don't have the power, you don't have the instruments, the physical means by which you can create and enact on canvas your vision. You just can't get it there. So you have a vision, but with 3 techniques, you just don't have enough to draw from to be able to get it on canvas. Now, what those videos do as a way of misleading is this. They might paint, say, a rock, and it looks fantastic. I'm not saying it doesn't. It looks absolutely brilliant, but here they are painting a rock. Then they go to a bit of foliage, change the brush and paint the foliage. And they say there are 2 different techniques. But in fact, what they've done is they've used the same technique, but they've changed the brush. It's the same technique. And that is just one example of the terrible lack of knowledge, the misconceptions, the misunderstandings, and where they've flat out got it wrong about oil painting techniques. And so, for someone who is seeking genuine help about oil painting techniques, the world is a danger zone, full of traps, pitfalls everywhere they look. So if you're limited in what you have at hand, if you don't have the knowledge of all of the 12 techniques, vastly different from that most basic one, then if you don't have them, you cannot create. You just can't get the satisfaction that you require. You won't get the results that you require. Your career will suffer because of it. And you'll end up frustrated and probably give it up. Now, let's make a comparison. If you were to learn music, let's say you came here and I'm a music teacher, and I teach you only 3 notes and tell you that's all you've got. What kind of music do you think you'd be creating? Very, very limited. 3 blind mice, that's as far as you get, or something like that, I don't know, but it's something very, very limited. And that's what you're actually getting worldwide. It's the way the world has grown. So one person teaches very, very basic technique with those misleading or misconceptions that I just mentioned. You learn it and you pass it on. And that has created this enormous, vague and misleading and, in fact, harmful misunderstanding of what techniques are. It's harmful because it means you just cannot create what you want, and it's hurting art. It's hurting art. It means that art isn't getting expressed fully in the human race at this point in our history. Now imagine I said, here are all of the notes and scales in music, just like you would get if you went to a proper music teacher. You could create anything from grunge and rock and roll and hip hop through to symphonies and operas and all sorts of stuff. Everything that's in the world has come from that industry standard of knowing the notes and scales. So people in the music industry all know the notes, all know the scales, and they have a common language. It is a sophisticated understanding. It's an incredible achievement when you think about it. In oil painting, it's make it up as you go along. So anyone can pick up a brush, throw something on and say that's a technique. Now you're here because you want to express yourself powerfully, so you need the full techniques. That throws up questions. The questions are, Do I have to use all 12 techniques when I create a painting? The answer is no, just the same as you don't use all of the notes and scales available in music to compose a piece of music. But you have to know them. Because here's the thing, even if you've looked at some of those videos and you're saying to yourself, but they were incredible works of art, and I'm not saying they're not, the question then is this. Now, what would that incredible work of art been had that artist had all of the techniques available? So instead of just using one technique or two, at best you're going to get three, at best. And I'm not just talking about videos here, by the way. This is art teaching. If you go to a workshop, that's what you're going to get, 3 techniques. So how good would those artists be if they had more tools to choose from? Now, your vision wants to express itself properly. That's what it's for. It is an inspiring, unique thing. And it needs every physical means by which it can get expressed onto canvas. So those artists, if they had all of those techniques to choose from, I guarantee you would have chosen different techniques and different combinations to utilize their talent. Imagine then what they would create. So the idea of having all of the 12 techniques is that your vision then has the full toolkit by which to express itself, and it can choose which ones it wants, or you choose obviously through your vision which ones you want and which combinations. So it's not a case of saying this is how to paint. It's a case of saying here are the tools, you combine them your way. In the course I show you the tools, all the 12 techniques, and I show you the significant combinations. There are infinite combinations, but I show you the significant ones, enough to give you a full professional career and blow other paintings off the wall. So that's why you need them. You need them so that you have them to choose from when you create. So it's really easy. It is really easy. It's actually easier to paint with advanced techniques, all 12, because you have them all to choose from, than it is to struggle with 2 or 3. So it's really that simple. That's why this course is different. 25 years experience of doing this, I've seen unbelievable results from artists who've never painted before. At the end of the course, they're painting paintings that are mind-blowingly sophisticated, complex, jam-packed full of detail, but the things too that are so hard to get creatively that you can't get by colouring in. Mood, atmosphere, movement, emotion. You're dealing with the top level, the best that a human can achieve when you're working with advanced techniques. That goes into your art, and people are doing it from never having painted before because it is that easy once you have the toolkits. It's easier than learning notes and scales in music. There's no time imperative, no rush. You simply do it. You just do it. Always saying through the course, it's entirely up to you. At the end of the course, once you know the techniques, which ones you choose and which combinations, and at the end of the course you get sophisticated works of art finished. Never painted before? You'll have them. You have painted before? Look at the difference between what you've done at the end of the course and what you've been struggling with before. So choose a course so you can dive in, get your results and change your life.